Captain, coach of the under-12s. The score today was 2-0 versus Millfield. Say scored both goals. First half was terrible. Just couldn't get 2-3 passes together, losing every 50-50, losing the ball cheaply. I don't think we registered a shot on target. It was just a really bad performance. Seemed like the week off had a massive effect on the players. And I think it was a bit of a reality check, to be honest. Playing against a little bit tougher opposition. Matched them for pace, for strength. And I think it got to the boys a bit today. A bit of a wake-up call. We're not going to spank every team 10, 11, 12-0. Yeah, it was just a bad first half. I made a few changes in the second half. Hamza Kara came on, Gideon came on, Kieran came out of goal. Made a difference. We're a bit stronger in the midfield. Kept the ball a little bit better. Still not as good as I expect it to be, but it was a lot better. The goals came, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Usaid scored straight from a corner, and Gideon and Usaid linked up well for the second goal. Good finish by Usaid. But yeah, just sort of need to wake up earlier in games. I think we need a bit more grit in this team, because the minute we got matched for a bit of strength, a bit of pace, we just looked out of it. Couldn't get out of our half in the first half, and we deserved to be down. So yeah, a bit of a lesson for the boys today, but we'll carry on. Yeah, it's good to learn from these experiences, and yeah, we'll carry on. We'll keep learning, and the boys are still learning, and yeah, we'll go from here.
Here with Coach Ethan of the under-10s. Sum up the game for us today.
2-2 draw. I don't really know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just another silly game again. It's the same thing. It's recurring week and week. It's getting really silly now. Conceded a silly goal at the beginning, got one straight back after, and then played the other team off the park again. But every single one-on-one, they're missing. They're not taking their chances. Played that team off the park. It was a joke. And then every single time we got in goal, we just froze. Got in front of goal, sorry, we just froze. So I mean, we work on it week in, week out. We do the exact same thing: 1-on-1s, 3-on-1s, 2-on-1s, and they finish in training. But come up in a game and they don't want to finish their chances. There's not much more I can do. I don't know what else I have to do. It's just the boys need to show up. That's as simple as it gets. They just need to come to their games and finish their chances. That's literally all I can say. Everything else, I mean, the passing was great. Defending was great. Obviously, 2 silly chances. They got caught the long ball over the top. It's just it happens, you know. But other than that, yeah, the finish once again, it's getting out of hand now. So we'll do what we usually do: get back and work on it week in, week out, and the progress will come.
All right, thank you very much. Here with Coach Saf, Coach Ollie of the under-9s. Sum up that game for us.
We played Aim to Gain, lost 3-1 as Zach scored. Performance of the game summary wasn't a great game. I think one of the poorest performances we've had so far. I think Ollie would agree. I think there's not much I can say. I think we just need to take it back to the drawing board, take it back onto training, and just literally have a solid setup, have a solid squad. Players that don't really want to be there, I'm not going to name names, don't think they need to be picked anymore. Players that are giving it their all, coming into training twice a week, and giving it as much as they want it is what's important to us, I think. But I think we need to sort out positions as well.
Yeah, this positional awareness is very poor, front to back. Can't keep the ball on the floor, it's passing isn't there, so it's just disjointed. It was one of the worst performances on the last this season. And what I want to say is the squad need to come there, be there on Tuesday. The squad only Tuesday training session, so we can work with the squad, we can implement what we need to do on the Tuesday night, so we can sort it out on Sunday. Because it's difficult if you're not getting a chance to coach the main players on Tuesday evening, then how much what are you going to do, what do you expect for the games. So,
all right, thank you very much.
With the under-8s managers, result and goal scorers, please.
Played in League Pro, drew drew 4-4. Goal scorers were Abdurrahman with 2, Zain Raja with 1, and Ahmed with 1 as well.
So started off with the first half, I think it's the same story as usual really. We started off really slow. We got early goal with it, but the first half I thought was really, really slow. Second half, half time we had a chat with the boys. There was a lot of like just not getting in on upset. They would lose the first tackle, or not get the ball the first time, and then just go again. So we had a chat with them, told them, look, you need to keep going, like, you know, get lively. Second half was a lot better, much better. Like, what was annoying about the first half was it's stuff that we've done for the past 3 weeks with the boys at coaching, like beat your man, take a shot, release the ball, and just complicating things, like taking on more than they needed, which is annoying. So they weren't doing what we had coached them to do in the first half. But second half was much better. Couple of more minutes, you could argue we would have got a goal in, would have won. But yeah, we need to see more of what we saw in the second half and the first half. We need to stop starting off slow.
But yeah, I agree with Bill. I thought first half we were dreadful. I think it's not the first time we've been like this, where we start off slower and then towards the end we get into it. I thought from the beginning, like the first half was just, that wasn't R77 play. We're so much better than that. They always know they're better than that. But yeah, in general, it was just not good. I thought the addition of Cheyenne today, you could see he hasn't played in that team before.
Yeah.
He was a bit out of position at times. He's very effective at what he does, but I think he needs to train with us a bit more. I think give it next week, and we're going to be a team. And I give credit to any pro goalkeeper.
That goalkeeper,
he saved them. That scoreline should have been a lot worse for them. He kept them in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, on to next week.
Thank you.
Hi there guys, here with Coach Mo, slightly different surroundings. So we played Kekoa this morning, had an 11 o'clock kickoff. We drew the game 5-5. Not the best performance, to be honest, not very impressed. Where should we start? First half, pretty even. I think we went in 1-1 or 2-1 down. Conceded a couple of sloppy goals, but that don't matter. It's about what we do at the attacking end of the pitch, and I didn't think we were anywhere near where we should be. I must say this week of training has been probably one of the best weeks we've had, Tuesday and Saturday included. The boys have been working hard, and they've always been working hard, to be honest, and it just start about replicating that onto the pitch. We focus on 1v1 and 2v2 in training, and we'll always do that. So it's about trying to teach the players the best time to dribble, and when they can't dribble and take a player on, they've got to look at someone in a better position. So about keeping the head up, and we've been doing that for the last 2 months, to be honest. And I don't know, maybe it's a coaching flaw, or I don't know what it is, but they're struggling to keep at it, and it's affecting us in games, to be honest. Individually, I thought Mohamed Safraz was probably the best player on the pitch. When he came off, he had a little knock, so I had to come off for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we were very, very bad without him. Conceded about 3 goals within a few minutes. But I thought once he was back on the pitch, we got shape back. We managed to claw the game back to 5-5. Percy with 4 very good finishes. But again, someone of his caliber, training with under rates at the moment. He needs to be doing much better. So technically he's got to improve before he makes that step up, because at the moment I don't want to push him up yet, because he needs to grab the under-7s league by the scruff of his neck, and he's not doing that at the moment. Yes, he's getting on the score sheet, but his overall game has dipped massively. And I don't like making excuses, but it also doesn't help that we're playing 1 game every 3 weeks because of cancellations and forfeits and whatnot, because these boys will be playing every single week. But yeah, we continue working hard. They're not going to get every single thing from training within the first few months of playing football, so we know it's still a long road for them. They're still improving every single week, which is important. So yeah, keep working hard and onwards and upwards.
Alright guys, long day. I was a bit reluctant to do this straight after the game, the under 14s game that is. I was a bit ticked off, but we'll try to summarize the day. We start off with the first game of the day, which was the under 9s. They lost 3-1. Yeah, I mean, they didn't play the greatest opposition. I felt we should have beat them. Performance-wise, it wasn't the best, but the conditions didn't suit, and I think the more I analyse every result, the more I'll say that the conditions didn't suit us today. And the nines are work in progress. We know that. Coach Saf's just come in, so he's got 2 wins on the bounce. He got a loss today, but I think they'll be alright going forward. Got to look forward to the break now and regroup. Moving on to the under 7s. They were losing 5-2 at one point, and they ended up drawing the game 5-5. So in that sense, it's a good result. I don't think the performance was the worst in the world, but against the conditions were atrocious for a footballing side like ourselves. Didn't watch the under 12s, under 10s or the under 8s. Under 12s won 2-0, which was our only positive or real positive of the day, because the draws are not the end of the world. But yeah, from what I hear, speaking to Coach Adam, it was a tough game. It wasn't easy at all. But they ground out the result. Usaid getting another 2 goals. The boys on fire. And yeah, you know, they just keep ticking. They just keep ticking along. They're training well, so I'm not too surprised by the results. And they've got a good squad there. And once that squad gels, the results are gonna be what we're used to, which is hefty scorelines. There were a few tough games, but I don't think many are gonna be troubling them this year or next even. Under 10s drew to all in a game which it sounds like they should have won. Not the most ideal circumstances, but in front of goal, not good enough. So I guess that's something. I mean, it's not even a thing of just something we need to work on. It's something that we've been working on. I know the coaches are working on all these individual aspects. It's just about implementing it when we get out onto the pitch and dealing with them. And under 8s, slightly new look under 8s. Obviously, Cheyenne signing, which we're extremely pleased about, but it's going to take him some time to adjust to the system. He's coming over from another team, and it's not going to be easy to just walk in and dominate like he probably did in the other team. Maybe they were overly reliant on him, whereas here he's got players that are going to get him the service. So just a little bit of patience. They drew 4-4, so it's not the worst result in the world. Again, they were 4-2 down at one point, so to come back and have a 4-4, make it 4-4, it's a decent result. And I heard the performance wasn't too bad as well. So I've been telling you the 8s are just missing one player, and they found that player now, so they've just got to kick on. And that's the last of them. That's the under 14s. Yeah, we all know what big game it was. Walthamstow Wolves. But that's got to be the biggest snatch and grab victory I've ever seen in football. They had 1 shot on goal. They scored. We didn't. They won the game. To be fair, at the end of it, it's probably what they set out for in that second half. I think we went wrong in 2 aspects today. I felt technically the boys weren't as good as we know they can be, especially in the final third. And it's my opinion. But tactically, I think the managers got it wrong today. I think this is probably the first time I'm saying this, but for the lack of activity, the lack of changes throughout the game. Coaching is one thing, managing is a different thing, understanding circumstances are completely different. There's no way in the rule book where it says you can't make changes in the first 5 and 10 minutes. I understand giving everybody a fair crack, but I felt we had 2 players on the bench who didn't get used today, who could have, maybe should have made a difference on that pitch, and didn't get the opportunity to do so. So it's a little bit frustrating because I felt like we lost the game rather than Wolves winning the game, and we know I've been in these league situations many a year, and I know what one loss can do. People will be like, oh, it's just one loss, you bounce back. But trust me, one loss can be the end of a title race. Obviously, we hope it's not. It's a very tough pill to swallow, especially because I felt like we should have been 6, 7, 8, 9-0 up in that first half. But like I said, technically and tactically, I think we got it wrong today. So sometimes you just got to put your hands up and own up to it. It is what it is. The boys have been outstanding so far this season, and today we needed them to be start off strong, to be honest, and they did to their credit, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the under-14s. Just a small point. Someone somewhere in a football association or whoever the hell runs grassroots football these days needs to do something about these playing conditions, because they are absolutely atrocious. We cannot implement our playing style. We cannot, even individual 1v1 stuff, ball mastery, dribbling, it can't be done on these conditions. It is literally the team who can kick it the furthest, because the pitch is just disgraceful. It's an absolute farce that these boys have to go out there. I mean, we make all the effort throughout the week to get them up to scratch, to get them playing on a nice surface, get them playing. So, because at the end of the day, our aim is to try to replicate the academy model. We're not saying we're anywhere near an academy, but we have to try to replicate it for the sake of these kids' development. And grassroots football is basically gutter ball. You're not going to develop kids in those conditions. It's an absolute joke. Kids falling everywhere. You can't run in a straight line. Forget that. If you try to kick the ball in a straight line, it changes its own. It does its own things. It's like it's got a brain of its own, and that's down to the ground. So what do we expect from these boys? What are we trying to achieve here? Because I think football's failing us at the moment rather than us failing football. There's only so much we can do, but we have to play in the conditions given to us. And yeah, it's like kicking a ball around in a dog pit. It's just terrible. And there's something genuinely needs to be done about it throughout these winter months, because we cannot play on these surfaces. Some teams enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but that's because there's no ethos behind them. But when we're trying to play with a certain style and a certain way, I think today every single team was hindered by the pitch, and you can't play football on those pitches. It's just something genuinely needs to be done about it, because it's getting frustrating now, and it's having an effect on the boys. And the performances, results is one thing, we can put that to the side, but the performances, it's just ugly. And yeah, you can tell by my voice and my face that it's been one of those days. Onwards and upwards, and we carry on. Peace.